we're going to bring on Joe Kelly as this thing just keeps moving.
We're rolling,
and
baby.
grooving.
All right.
How are you today,
rolling.
sir?
Oh, I cussed, my bad.
Oh, dump it.
No cuss.
All right,
I'm doing great. How about you?
You got 2 more left before we have to cut off the
No
interview.
worries, no
so,
worries. No cuss.
I think we're good. I think we're good because just so you know, you can comment on this if you want to or not, we all hate the Houston Astros as we're from the Metroplex and love the Texas Rangers.
Honestly, when this all got set up and they said Texas, I know, former player,
Yeah.
Kev, I was like, man, I hope it's Houston. That'd be funny. Like, I hope it's Houston radio, right? But Dallas, yes, Dallas radio, way different. We all have our grudges.
Sure.
Some a little more than others. But yeah, well, thanks for having me on. You know,
absolutely.
Obviously, this is my first time being a part of one of these things.
A radio road stuff?
Not a radio show, but
This is my first interview ever.
Oh my gosh!
This is
How did you avoid this?
So I'm a huge video game guy. So I love Comic-Con. I love gaming conventions. So like usually when I come to these things, it's like a bunch of gamers.
Can I ask you a quick question? Since you mentioned video games, have you watched The Last of Us yet? Based off of the video game, of course.
I have 3 kids, twins, and I have a 4th on the way, so I have not yet.
Goodness.
I have not.
The only reason I was nervous is because The Last of Us is about like a fungi takeover, and it's like a pandemic and everything. And then we got a mushroom-based bar, and I thought, hold on, did I watch The Last of Us to warn me about this? I'm sure it's safe, but in the back of my mind, I was like, is this a bad idea?
Yes.
Probably why we're on air. I shouldn't eat the bar.
Mushroom-based tea is good, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I want to know about Doc, Dave Roberts.
Yes.
I played with him.
Okay.
I got to interrupt you real quick, Mike. I'm
okay.
sorry. I'm going to interrupt. Joe, hi. How's it going?
How are you?
Kay Adams was just on with us moments ago. She's walking away.
Yes.
She did your first interview with the St. Louis Cardinals.
I
she told
remember
us.
Kay.
Okay. I just wanted to point that out there.
Yes, but she was in a hurry, and we were in a hurry to get in here. But I do remember Kay.
I'll get you all back together.
Yes.
Do you think that we're good teammates? Because we didn't point out that he loves
he's
Kay
in love
Adams.
with Kay Adams.
I think you're a great teammate because he's not going to say that, right? But you don't want to throw your boy under the bus.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yo,
I got great teammates. I love them, man. Back to you, Mike. I'm
but
sorry
back to
about
Doc.
that.
Back to Doc.
I mean, one of my favorite teammates of all time, the sweetest man. And now I'm playing with him, and I know as a player, and I know you didn't play with him, but he's your manager. You have to kind of be a little bit different from a player to a manager. Can you tell me about Doc as a manager?
Yeah, so I had Doc for 3 years. Obviously, very, very good with words, right? You know, media questions, great.
Yeah.
Manager-wise, a guy who is someone who likes to talk a little bit, like, hey, I'm going to go in your office, and I want to tell you, if I'm hanging, do not pitch me. You know what I mean? So as a manager like that, I've only played for 2 guys like that so far that are that open to conversation. So that's something as a player I respect, right? Because I'm a reliever at the end of the game. I mean, I could get beat up, for a whole straight week, and it's like, hey, we really need you this game. Can you post for me? And if a manager says that, you feel bad letting your manager down. Otherwise, like if Doc would never say that, he'd be like, come in, let me know when you're sore, and so I get ahead of the curve. So as him being able to manage players, I think he's very great at that. Obviously, the resume speaks for itself, record number of wins, 5 straight years, title, NL West title, 8 or 9 in a row. But, yeah, I had a great time playing for Doc.
And yet, because of the cutthroat nature of sports in general, it also felt like if he didn't get a World Series that they might have fired him.
So that's a good point because we were in the bubble, right? Obviously. Yeah. And everyone's going to say, hey, World Series, 60-game season, blah, blah, blah. But when you boil it down, it was harder. It was the first time ever a number 1 seed throughout the whole entire playoffs had to play in a wild card game. So the best record in all of baseball had to play against the Milwaukee Brewers in a 3-game set. And it's baseball, bro. Like, literally, that's why baseball is great. That's why I have a shirt that baseball is boring. It's baseball, anyone can win. Like, the lowest paid player in baseball could be the MVP of the league.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in basketball. That doesn't happen in football. Yeah. Because say you're a rookie in football, you're still, if you're the MVP, you're probably the quarterback, you're still on a 5-year deal. You're not the lowest paid player. Like a guy making $600,000 could be the MVP of baseball. That's why it's great. So we had to go and play the Milwaukee Brewers, and if they won 2 games, we were out. So it was more teams in the playoffs. Obviously, the pandemic. Couldn't bring your family. Like, my dad was sitting in the stands. He couldn't even celebrate with him after the game,
Wow.
after the World Series. Like, It's great things.
Sitting here with Joe Kelly, relief pitcher. When you talked about hanging and your arms hanging, and Doc's talking about that, I think a lot of even baseball fans don't understand that. When do you know that I'm probably not going to be able to pitch today?
I know myself. I know before I pick up a ball, and I would say that's rare.
How can you tell us how? For people listening, they need to know.
So if I'm hanging, first of all, not I don't go off muscle soreness because that's being soft. I was gonna say different. That's being soft. I go on actual pain. So I have 3 kids, right? So if I pick one up and I'm I could tell there's fatigue, not in the muscle, but I could tell a pressure. It's bursitis. You get it all the time. There's inflammation. There's probably extra blood in there. And then I'll take an anti-inflammatory. So I'll take ibuprofen, a Voltaren, and then I get to the field. And if I still feel that way, I'll be like, all right, hey, doc, I pitched this many times. My arm's hanging. I'm not even gonna go out and play catch. I'm gonna take the whole day. But if it's emergency in the 17th inning, I'm going to play because I don't want one of our pitchers or our position players pitching. You know what I mean? But I know for myself right away. I know washing my hair. It's crazy. Brushing my teeth. Anything that has to do with my right arm.
So now another thing that I noticed I played from 96. I was drafted. 08 was my last year. Is heavy balls, especially bullpen guys. I'll see them throwing them against the wall as they're preparing to. They might give me a phone call or I'm getting loose in the 4th, 5th inning. Are you a heavy ball guy throwing them against the wall, trying to loosen up? Can you kind of explain that to us?
Yeah, so the heavy balls are great, and for dads that are listening right now, if you have kids and you see all the pros do it, be careful because if you don't have the right mechanics, you're screwed. You're going to hurt your kid. But for myself, I do like the heavy ball. I don't need much stretching. I don't use them to actually get velocity. I use them just to get warm. So I'll take a heavy ball and I'll throw it 7 times, and then get on the mound, toss the ball hey, I'm ready to rock. But heavy balls, I think, they serve their purpose for sure.
Okay. You played with Seager, right?
Oh yeah.
You gave me a little
me
nod there.
Me and Seager 2 days ago. Justin Turner Foundation golf course champs, baby.
Okay.
And we won. We got a trophy and everything.
And Corey, I'm a Corey.
Okay.
He's a Corey, so I support him instantly.
Do you though? Y'all spell it differently.
It is a different spelling. It's the incorrect one, but I appreciate what he's doing. But I did see that he swings golf clubs right-handed.
He's
not
good
left-handed.
too, bro.
Yeah, he's pretty good at this.
He's sneaky. He won't tell you. He's a member at 2 courses. Does play a lot of golf. He'll say I barely play. One of those guys.
Lies.
But he's impressive because he swings right-handed, and he doesn't warm up. So you see guys who take forever over the ball, right? All right, what do we need? 7-iron. So he gets to the tee. He looks down and then hits the ball. Every shot, chip, drive, and it kind of messes with you because you're the next guy and you're I'm gonna watch him hit, see what he does, but he's already hit the ball and you're
crap.
Oh crap, dude! And you don't warm up. He's no, I just go up and hit the ball. And he's a really good golfer for barely playing.
Champion golfer now.
Yeah.
Champ. We shot 14 under.
What can you tell us, as a fan base here, about him, personally, and how he approaches the game and everything?
So,
because to be fair, I just
he's
want to
quiet.
And
listen,
there has been some backlash in some circles about he'll be with a personal coach instead of be with the team or whatever. So
he's always been that right, and I've been lucky to know him because my time in LA we were locker mates, right? So Corey Seager, my locker. And, he loves baseball. He has a bad game, and he takes it hard, man. So he always needs that guy to kind of cheer him up. But, yes, he's one of the guys, you trust someone. He listens to everyone. He has a hitting guy. He's going to go to his hitting guy every day, right? Mm-hmm. It could be his dad. It could be his hitting guy. He likes to film. And what people don't realize is he's an extremely hard worker, right? But he is one of those guys. He's not built like me. This guy is 6'5", bro.
Just naturally gifted everything.
Been through injuries. And so, if fans or, whoever don't see him taking early work, say at shortstop, practicing ground balls, it's because he's not built like my shortstop, Tim Anderson, who's 5'10", 170 pounds, super freaky athletic. Tim could take ground balls every day. Corey Seager, big body, 162. It would be, wrong to ask him to do that every day because his body breaks down so quick. You know what I mean? So if fans don't know him, he's a man of few words. He's very quiet, very simple. I mean, he could have $300 million, but he's going to buy a used F-250. You know what I mean? Very simple.
I feel that.
So it's not that it might look like, as we call I don't want to say like the resting kind of like the
Yeah,
bitchy
yeah.
face.
The
It might
RBF,
look
yeah.
that. It might look that, but he really is so freaking nice, bro. Like he wouldn't cuss at you. He wouldn't like. I don't know. He's just too nice and he's quiet. So it's the best way to put him.
Now I know that this isn't happening, but I'm just wondering. This is a tough one. If Minnesota were to say, we're bringing you on the team, and you had to be teammates with Carlos Correa, how would that go? Would you say, I don't want to be in Minnesota, or I don't know. How would that go?
That's a good question. I guess we'd have to see if we found out, but it definitely, I think before it happened, there'd probably try to be some sit-down meetings for sure, right? You know what I mean? Yeah, so I think if I got traded or, I think that's possibly the only way because I'm not going to go sign in Minnesota.
Right.
Because it's, I'm on the later half of my career. I want to stay Arizona spring training. I don't want to do Florida spring training, so I'm kind of limiting my teams, right? But like, hey, if nobody wants me, I'll just retire. But if I got traded there, yeah, it would have to be one of those things. There's been battles before in sports, which are great, and then you get on the same team, and you're like, you say sorry, I say sorry. Like, there's ways to get through it. But that's a good question. I like that. We'd have to see where we go.
Is Arizona because such easy travel for the games? Because Florida travel, like if you got an hour-and-a-half bus trip, you're like, oh, right, that's the short bus trip. The hour-and-a-half is the short bus trip.
I'm telling you, as a player, horrible. As a fan, horrible. You come here, you could catch so many games. You know what I mean? Like I'm friends with the guy who runs the Innings Festival. Big venue. We got Green Day. We got Yellow Car. Like there, he does the same thing in Florida, and he would say it's not that great because it's so far away. They don't get the same amount of people. You don't get access. You can't go watch Cubs. You can't go watch Dodgers. And I think since it's so close and the weather's so good, like Florida, weather's great, right? Good golf. But like you said, since it's so close, since the weather's so great, most of the teams over here are this side of the hemisphere anyways, or this side of the country. There's no better place for spring training for sure.
Now, you brought your book along.
Yes, I did. A damn near perfect game.
Okay, because I've really enjoyed this interview. What can you tell us about the book?
So the book is great. Obviously, people are gonna be like, "Oh, Joe Kelly can't write." Sorry for that bomb. Dang it.
That means the next one's your loser.
I know. I went to a UC school, like a Cal, a UCLA.
Yeah.
I studied psychology. But yeah, the book, I wrote it with me and Rob Manfred. He's not here, obviously. I think one of my favorite things about the book, right, I get into the whole pouty face situation right away, right? Just because I want to get, obviously, the fans' attention. Like, all right, let's just put it out there. Here's a dirty laundry, bam. But my personal favorite part is there's a whole chapter dedicated to Rob Manfred, our commissioner.
Yeah, who hates baseball. That is
I
my
love
opinion.
you said that.
That is my opinion.
From a guy who has had so many problems with baseball, from a guy who got suspended 8 games in a 60-game season for making a pouty face, I had a lot of animosity towards him, right? From after that, then we have a lockout. Players hate the commissioner, right? And so I was writing this book. I was like, going into it, I was like, man, what if I got Manfred in it? So I just asked questions like, Rob, I'm writing a book. I know you want to get good on the player side. Like, kind of like, I know you have this dirty laundry. Can I interview you? And so, number one, I think I'm like one of the first players to actually interview him about the state of baseball as itself. Rule changes. Perk for Manfred. He has the power to make any rule change he wants at any time. He hasn't. So people are going, F Manfred, he's like banning the shift, da-da-da. He could have did that 5 years ago. But kudos to him, he asked players, different teams, throw this out there. Hey, I'm probably going to do it in the next couple of years. Get used to it. Pitch clock, I'm probably going to do it in the next couple of years. Get used to it. When realistically, he could have done it right away. So I gained a lot of respect when he told me that. I didn't know that. Number two, he wants to grow the game of baseball. Right now, we have too many regional cable networks with 10-year contracts.
Yes.
For number one, I used to play there, Dodgers, Spectrum. Boom, throw $1 billion, how much? And you're locked in. Well, guess what? I played there. I'm a hometown guy in L.A. All my family cannot watch unless they have that thing, right?
It's the same thing in the Metroplex.
This is in the book. So Rob goes over that. He goes, you're right. He's talking about he wants more eccentric owners like Steve Cohen. I said, why can't we get like a guy like Steve Ballmer, a Mark Cuban? Like the owners pay for these teams and we barely see them. Like Steve Ballmer's front row, Mark Cuban's front row. Like when are we going to get like an Elon Musk type guy? Like he could buy all of baseball he wants. Like when are we going to get the young billionaire with the money to come in and kick out the older owners? And Rob Manfred once again agrees, sets it in there. So there's a lot of things that are going to change your view. It changed my view because I battled him. I got suspended multiple times. I got in a fight with Tyler Austin when I was with the Red Sox. Huge brawl, smoke,
Nice.
And I went there. I battled MLB's lawyers. I took one lawyer, 3 hours the first time, 3 hours the next time. Lost my case. I won. I thought I won, but it's an arbiter paid by MLB. So that was in the book. So I have all the reasons in the world to not like Rob Manfred. And after I got done interviewing Rob Manfred and put it in the book, All Chapter 7 of Baseball Isn't Boring, I am a Rob Manfred fan. So please read the chapter, and it would change your mind in a damn near perfect game. Just read the chapter, and I want all the fans to see. It's hard. He works for the owners and MLB and players. So if the owners bitch at him, if we bitch at him, it's not his fault. He really loves baseball.
A damn near perfect game by Joe Kelly. Appreciate it very
much.
Thanks,
boys.
Good sir. Come.